वृन्दावनं गोवर्धनं यमुना पुलिनानि च वीक्षासीदुत्तमा प्रीति राममाधवयोर्नृप राममाधवयोर्नृप राममाधवयोर्नृप. My blissful gorgeous self, now let us enter into the nectarine stories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Arriving on the holy soil of Vrindavan, Sri Krishna and his friends and all Gopals are so ecstatic as if they have met each other after years of separation. Sri Krishna looked at the bridge and ran past. All his friends followed. Nandarai called after them, Krishna, O Balram, O Bhadra. Oh, wait, O Madhumangal, let me come, don't go alone. Reaching the boat bridge, he began asking his uncle Nandan, How come the boat does not sink in the water? How did you make it? All the kids are walking on the bridge, shaking it and peeking underneath at the flowing water through the middle of two boats. Far away are horizons and trees and flying birds, running deer and flying parrots and dancing peacocks. And there, a little away, cows are swimming. Upananda uncle is calling from the other side of the river. Bhadra, Varutha, Krishna, come here. All are running and soon reached him, holding him, asking, What's special? He said, Look, there, our Kanda and Dharma and Kapila, count them. O Dharma, O Kamada, O Kapila, come soon, come to me please. Here Krishna is calling his soft sweet tones. And my dear friends, it is echoing, resounding, far distant in the air, touching Yamuna water, thrilling cows, hearing their names, lifting their ears, looking at him, hurried through the water. Soon all cows followed the following one. And lo, they reached to Sri Krishna, shaking their limbs, jumping and leaping and running. Their babies are coming through the bridge and all cars and buggies after them. Many of the Gopals are holding the cars in their laps. And Sri Krishna is looking lovingly when he would hold like that. The sun was setting, his golden rays were turning reddish, floating through the clear sky. Sunlight is going up and up and up on the treetops, on the hilltops, and lo, far above, birds are flying to their nests. Forest animals are going to their caves and tree branches. And Krishna and Bhadra and Stoka are lost in picking up shining pebbles and stones. and leaves and peacock feathers and flower blossoms and smelling the perfume and looking intently and making all others look more. For long they keep running, collecting, showing and giving each other gifts. And I reached there and demanding which is my paper. Krishna opens his palm and picks up a shining one and says, "This, how beautiful, isn't it?" And he smiles, my dear friends. And by the time they returned, a huge sheet town, all made of cloth, had been inhabited, stationing their thousands of cars and wagons and buggies in a half-moon circle. Looking at the cows resting, Krishna and Yashoda and Nanda all dined together and rested, my dear friends, rested. Early morning came with more golden news. What is that? His finger pointing to the tall green mound scattered with trees and adorned with shining rocks. Krishna is asking Mother Yashoda, while all his friends are impatiently waiting as to know really what that is. That is Giri Govardhan, the king of all mountains. The other side of him is Mount Nandishwar, and the other side is hill called Mount Brihatsanu. Giri Govardhan, he exclaimed, looking at it, all his friends thrilled and with excitement, my dear friends, clapping on, said, "Oh, we will now live near Giri Govardhan." All Gopals were pleased on this ecstasy. Love for mountains and forests is natural, my dear friends. Uncle, why don't you now halt our chariot? Here is Giriraj, why go further? We need water also, my child. We will go there. Nearby, another wonderful stream of Yamuna river flowing. We will live there. Oh, Yamuna, Yamuna is there too. His happiness is going unbounded. As he calls all friends and says, "Stoka, Giriraj is there and Yamuna is too is there. Look there, what is shining like you, like cloud, like sapphire. No, like neck of our lovely peacock. And what is that shining like camphor powder, like milk, like snow? That is Yamuna beach. Oh, that is that. I'll go play there. No, we will go further to bushy and leafy and cool groves of Vrindavan. And Sri Krishna looked, finger pointing distant horizon. Oh, that! Now Krishna is laughing and clapping. All his friends have joined. After arriving at Vrindavan on the bank of Yamuna near Giri Govardhan, and that they are dancing, my dear friend. Oh, where will my these birds live? Look, Nandan uncle said, like this I will hang nests and jars and mounds on the trees. And Krishna is convinced, my dear friend. So how come this mountain is so spacious, looks like cosmic hill in sitting position? All Gopals with Nanda and Yashoda have gathered after lunch and are asking this to Seth Shandilya and Purnamasi Devi. This is the representation of Dharma in all its whiteness. This is Nandi bull vehicle of Bhagavan Shankar. Instructed by the Lord, he is sitting here doing tapas, absorbed in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He is worshipping the Supreme Lord in the trance of Samadhi to offer his Adi Bhautik form for Bhagavan to accept for his sporting land. He is so absorbed in his prayer that his desire has become an intense presence, and from outside he appears as part of a vast earth, like a mountain. So, as the time of fulfillment of his wish has approached after long lapse of time, we must inhabit this mountain. Maharishi Shandilya, surrounded by his hundreds of disciples, and after a worship ceremony, knelt down, hands folded, gazing towards the blue sky, he prayed, O transcendental Golok Dham, O eternal abode of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, time has arrived, please descend. Establish yourself upon this hill and land and river banks. Please spread, expand around here. Facilitate yourself so that Bhagavan can sport freely. Soon a brilliant light illuminating all directions descended. It was so strong and soothing and placid that everyone's eyes became closed. And when Shandilya's voice echoed to open them, to their utter surprise and wonder, they saw the most majestic, palatial and divine township nearby, ready to live in. After a brief worship of Bhagavan, after a brief worship of the holy city by instruction of Seth Shandilya, all Brajavasis entered into their homes. Vanadevi Vrinda, the forest goddess, appeared in the sky, showering blessings on all inhabitants, my dear friends. The eternal abode of Goloka appeared as if always present here, and only a curtain of some strange had been pulled away. Rows and rows of gems and pearls and mansions dazzled all outward, constantly changing, renewing themselves into better and more beautiful, once appropriate for ongoing and oncoming pastimes of Bhagavan, my dear friend. All objects, everything was made of pure consciousness composed of Brahma Tattva. Not at all a slightest tinge of hyper image. It was Sandhini potency of Bhagavan which assumed those innumerable forms, luminous gem floor, pearlish powder dust, emerald trees and jade flowers. If you forget it's being made of pure consciousness, still each stone or tree is more valuable than the empire of the world in golden age, in Satyuga. Even the heavens can be purchased by one stone lying here on the roadside. Vrindavan was adorned with a new green blooming forests of trees entwined with the vines and carpets of softest grass and deers and tigers and cubs leaping around, ready to welcome. Nanda's palace extended all the way from the top of the Nandishwar hill to Yamuna bank. Canals and ponds of curds and milks, melted butter, and there many different kinds, mindered about. Snow white large placid cows roamed. Fresh prepared ghee, fragrance spread in the atmosphere. Okay? The most favorite aroma for the celestials, far away beyond those thick bushes, there was another cluster of residences and cottages and yagya arenas, a replica of cozy Himalaya, that was all. Shandilyaji and Purnamasi Devi, surrounded by sages, enjoy their multidimensional existence of the channelized and television screen consciousness. Absorbed in their daily tapas, they could watch Sri Krishna, his leelas from nowhere. They made it their compulsory duty to arrive at Nanda's palace whenever they discovered any role to play in the Leelas of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Oh, Braj, in infinite colors, cuckoos cooing and gopis singing over and over by let Yamuna writes, say, early morning while pre-dawn darkness still permeated the atmosphere. All sages and gopals would awaken. The directions echoing with male prayers, hymns and songs and resounding occurred churning. That auspicious sound mixed with the sound of silence and the abundant smells of flowers making of cows and incense were wonderful. No one feels that they only arrived yesterday. It happens, it's happiness of everything in the Maya, Bhagavan. He feels as they have been there ever and ever, more ages there are. Up to come in front of your meditation.